interesting topic I was meaning to bring up and ask you, because the crowd work dynamic has sort of become a point of controversy with some comics.
Sure.
Some guys, I've heard a few guys, I think it was Jesselneck was saying how he detests crowd work.
Yeah.
And then you've got this sort of new breed of, a lot of guys have always done crowd
Talia.
work. Yeah, Talia does crowd work. You've got Matt Rife, obviously huge on
Sure.
crowd work. Where do you fall on that?
I mean, I think it's all. I think you kind of reap what you sow with that stuff. So if you're a crowd work guy, that's who's coming to see you. That's what they're going to expect to see at your show is crowd work. So if that's what you want to be, then put that out there.
You think the audience might be a little bit more vocal and
That's a good
bold?
point.
I think
Never thought of
there's
that.
definitely people that show up wanting to get called on, whether or not they heckle out like outside of that. I don't know. I mean, but I think for the most part, any way somebody can find a way online is good for them. It's just, can you maintain that? Can you keep doing that? Is this what you want, or did you try and take like a shortcut to get to ticket sales, and now you're just kind of forced to either be this character online or do crowd work, and that's not what you actually wanted to do. There's so many kind of like velvet prisons, I think, in stand-up that you can get trapped in. And with that kind of stuff, I mean, I don't detest any of these guys that do crowd work. Crowd work is a necessary skill that you have to have as a stand-up comic. You have to have it in your back pocket. If you decide that that's the only tool that you're going to use all day long, sure. But I'm hoping that me with my fucking saws and my wrenches and my screwdrivers will do better than you. Maybe not today, but in a few years when I'm sharpening all of these tools rather than just the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, like, do whatever you want to on stage. That's always my mindset. Because, I mean, half the comics that are famous in the first place, I don't fucking like them. I don't think they're funny, but that doesn't mean I have, like, the best taste in all of this stuff. Like, there's an audience for everybody. So,
Yeah.
If you want to do your crowd work, go ahead.
Yeah.
But get creative with it.
Yeah,
At this
yeah,
point,
you've
'cause
got
it's
to.
like, that's the problem with it now is, like, I mean, I when I first posted my first, like, crowd work heckler video, it was, like, 2017. I was maybe one of, like, 7 guys that had done that. And then after, now it's every day, everybody from open micer to fucking Dalia is posting crowd work clips.
Yeah.
That it gets kind of flooded, and it's hard to be creative because really crowd work, there's only so many tricks that you can do of what do you do for work? What do you do? And then there's just kind of some people use stock lines, or they're just kind of shuffling through stuff. It's not really great, with very few exceptions. Like I think a guy like Big J Okerson is probably one of the best crowd workers that there is, because he can kind of find those lines and truly improvise and be creative.
Did you ever see that guy had a seizure in Chris D'Elia's show? That one guy?
No. I had this happen at one of my shows though too.
Had a seizure?
Yeah, I had
No
a seizure.
freaking way.
Whole show stopped. I was in the Mall of America at the House of Comedy. Actually, they have a spot out there in Minnesota, and it was just after COVID. It was like 2021. Things were just opening back up. I think they were even at like limited capacity. It's the early show. I'm like 20 minutes into my set, and this guy just like, and this woman stands up like, "Help him! Help! My husband's choking!" Whole place stops, dead silent. And I'm like, can somebody? And then luckily the people in front of them were nurses. 2 nurses stood up, helped him out. He was having a seizure, and then he choked on his food. And
Shit.
Show stops for like 30 minutes. Like the first responder was the mall cop. Some kid on a Segway rolling up, like using the only tool in his belt, a pad of paper and a pen. What's your name? But then, I mean, eventually the real EMT showed up. The guy was fine. And then the manager comes up and he's like, "What do you want to do? These, we want to just comp these people, tell them to come to the Late Show." And I was like, "Oh, we're already 20 minutes in." Like, and the whole time I'm gathering information, like the fucking mall cop thing. There's a guy just eating dessert at the front row, watching the whole thing, piece of cheesecake. And I'm like, I think I got this.
Yeah,
I think I can
just draw from everything
make
that's
this work.
happening.
I'm like, and yeah, so I mean, to get that first laugh is like, you got to get that first laugh, and then you're off to the races with that
Right.
stuff. So I was like, let me just first say, thank you to everybody that helped, and there's absolutely nothing funny about what just happened. However, I got a couple of things I noticed.
Do you find that a lot of the jokes and the comedy you create does come out of real life for you?
For sure.
Is that how your process?
Yeah, for me, definitely. I mean, there's some stuff I'll sit down and, pontificate on and try and figure it out. But for the most part, it's like and then I write down a note, and then I try and kind of focus my thoughts on that, whether it's on stage, riffing through the idea, or on a podcast or something like that, or with my buddies, just to see if there's something actually funny about that. And then I'll usually kind of have a version of that to really bring to stage and try and iron out, kind of thing. Yeah.
It's great you guys have created a podcast. We said early on, some of the funniest moments like of our entire lives together are always just sitting around shooting the shit and
Totally.
just talking. And if
Yeah.
you can figure out a way to actually just mic that.
Right.
That's half your material, at least from a content standpoint online.
Yeah.
You don't need to actually sit down and write jokes and stare at the barrel and say them. You could just riff.
Totally. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, so much of our stuff now is just put it out online and get people to like it. And it's like, yeah, but if there's no bottom of that funnel, these people will just never see you again. They'll just keep swiping on their phone. They'll forget about you as quick as they see a fucking dog that's licking a baby. You know what I mean? Like, you're not staying in their lives. But if they like you enough, then they find out that there's a way to listen to you every week. And then on top of that, putting out, the weekly stand-up content, it's like you got to kind of find a way to make people give a fuck. And podcasting's king of that. There's just no other way to do it right now.
No matter what it is you're doing, you should be podcasting in some way, shape, or form. But especially, there's a reason why comedians are all podcasting. Aside from, of course, Rogan, who actually has an interesting segue from athletics into comedy, similar as you.
Yeah.
Did you have people that were kind of in your life saying, like, dude, you're really funny. You should go on the
Totally.
freaking stage.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, I'm from a big family. I'm one of 7 kids in my family.
Whoa!
Six boys, 1 girl. So
Oh, dang.
most of my childhood was 5 boys growing
So
up.
she never had dates.
No. No, she actually just had her first boyfriend. But,
Oh, hey, that's good.
We gotta talk to that little fuck.
It's sorry, I totally lost my train of thought.
Going from athletics
17
into comedy, people saying you're funny, get on stage.
Yeah. So like my whole family, like my brothers and I, we were always just shooting the shit, trying to be funny, trying to make each other laugh, making fun of somebody for bombing or ruining the joke or whatever. And then playing baseball, that was like, especially looking back on it now, I was like, yeah, that's what I really loved baseball when I was a kid, and I kind of fell out of love with it in college because it became this analytical, numbers driven, like statistical analysis of the game instead of like go play baseball. It's like, hey, like instead of me picking apart a hitter as I was a catcher, instead of me deciding what pitches I'm throwing, now I'm looking to my coach to tell me what pitch to throw based on the last 5 first pitches we've thrown. And I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like, can we do something a little better? But the love of the game with that is like, looking back is like the funnest times of that was the bus rides, sitting on the bench, coming up with stupid shit to yell at people on the field. Like those are the real memories that I think were the most fun. And then that was those guys were the ones who were like, dude, you got to do comedy. You got to do comedy. You got to do something. And I was like, I'm funny in conversation. I can't just go up there and talk. And turns out if you try, you can.
You totally can.
It was super intimidating, man. I mean, I was so nervous for that first open mic. I'd never been on stage for anything. I never did theater or acting or karaoke. I'd never done anything. So like to get over those nerves and remember your set and try and do that was like such a rewarding like rush of dopamine and like, wow, this is just how you do it. And it just kind of like put those pieces together, and I got hooked so fast. Yeah.
And now it's transitioned into something where you're actually making a living doing it. That's really cool.
Yeah,
dude.
it's crazy.
Like, seriously.
Amazing.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
And to be in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, from start to finish, how long have you been doing comedy? What did you say? You said 2000.
It was it's been 11 and a half years now.
11 and a half years.
Yeah. And I mean, those first 5 years, you're really just kind of finding your feet, trying to meet people and kind of network your way, and then prove that you're funny. To me, that's always been the way I see comedy. There's 2 sides of the game as a comic. Is like prove that you're funny to bookers, your peers, yourself, and then sell tickets. That's the 2 sides of the game. It's like make something worth watching and then sell the thing that's worth watching. And then do that over and over and over and over.
Prove that strangers think you're funny too.
Yeah, totally.
Because in the beginning, especially if you're on a bus filled with your peers, I mean, they're probably going to think you're funny because they know you.
Yeah, and you can lean in a little bit more. You know what they like. Especially in a fucking baseball bus. There's no off limits topics. You know, like yeah.
No, and as it should be with comedy too.
Yeah.
Have you seen? I mean, 11 and a half years is enough time to where you've seen kind of that pendulum swing.
Sure.
Have you seen comedy like kind of come back into style where it's kind of no holds bar now? You can say whatever the heck you want.
Yeah, I think it's always kind of been like that. Like we did go away from it where like, I mean, to get canceled now, because before it was like you lost this, you lost that. Like to cancel somebody now, like if you've built this platform yourself, which almost every comic that is currently killing it has really built it themselves. They weren't gifted a career by ABC or late night TV. Like they even if they use
SNL,
those things, all of these are bonuses on the thing that they're already building.
Sure.
So I think like if you can't get canceled unless you deceive your own following. So like if you pretend to be this workout guy and then I show up and you're a fat slob and the whole thing's AI and none of it's real, you hate Marvel, like That's how, and all your fans will be like, fuck this guy, dude. He lied to us, you know? But if you're honest on stage and and you put out the type of comedy that you do, and then that's what people will expect to come and see you. But if you put out, you know, clean jokes and then people show up and you're like, motherfucking fuck, you know, they're going to be like, who is this guy? This guy's terrible. He can't have that thing I like, you know?
Interesting. Yeah. So staying almost true to one's own character, both on and off stage.
Yeah, you have to just be yourself. Because, I mean, that's why podcasting is king right now, is because of honesty. People want authentic stuff. They want to feel like it's real. That's why sitcoms are dying and dead. Like, nobody wants to feel like, oh yeah, that's how life is. You walk down and the husband's in the fridge again. Like, that's not what life is.
That's how I feel about late night shows as well.
Yeah, totally. It's like a play now, late night shows. And to me, like, I'm working to try and get on some of these shows, but again, that's an ad. It's an ad to an audience that I can't reach doing podcasting or doing clips, because those people that still watch that show there's a percentage of them that just don't find content that way, and they need that validation of Jimmy Fallon or whoever the fuck saying you're funny, and then they're like, now he's funny. You know, like they need that little logo next to your face. Well, it's Gen X too. It's not just the boomers. It's a weird mix of everybody.
That is exactly who finds Jimmy still relevant. Like those types of shows, it's got to be 1 or 2 generations ahead of us, even just because nobody today thinks that way. Even shows that are really relevant and popular today, like Tires. It's so funny because the new season just dropped. And have you seen it?
I haven't watched the new season yet.
Dude, it's good. You see the first season?
Yeah, I did. I mean, he's great. Like,
he's
that
awesome.
show's great.
They're all great. Everybody in there, but in the second season, they show the cast coming in the first few episodes. I'm like, oh shit, that's what's her face. I've talked to her on Instagram. Oh shit, that's him. I've seen his comedy on. I've seen all these people, but not from that show.
Right.
I've seen them from social media and from their platforms.
Totally. Yeah, and if like a no name went on and was another character on there, and let's say that show even gets like 7 seasons, that doesn't change his life the same way that it would having built something yourself. Like you're cancelable if you're have to answer to somebody. You know?
So true.
Yeah. Like So I mean I've definitely felt that shift back forth, and I think part of that is just the education of people, like the audience. If the audience, like, if you're just a person who was raised in a little bubble by your mom and dad, and then you're released, and now you see the internet and someone says offensive things, even though your teacher never would have let you say those things, you're like outraged at this existence of this person. And instead, now I think people are like, oh yeah, I just don't watch that show, which has kind of been my mindset from the start. It's like, if I don't like what you're making, well, I'll change the fucking channel. Like, we have more channels than ever now. People make their own channel. Like, why would I sit here and watch something that is upsetting me? And the cancel culture stuff went too far, I think, when they were like, well, those people shouldn't even be able to exist. They shouldn't be able to say those things. It's like, no. You should say whatever you want, and if you don't like it, or if it's that terrible, not enough people will agree with it to make a living. You know what I mean? So, like, it kind of is a self-fixing thing right now. So I think the people that get canceled right now are people that are, you know, it's kind of LA celebrities that come out and do something crazy, or we found out something.
And it's got to be something pretty egregious.
Because again, they're the guy with the suit and walked down the red carpet, and I'm very perfect and professional, and it's like, yeah, but you like slapping guys' asses on the way down.
Did you hear Kanye's new single?
I've heard. I stopped listening after the Cousins song, which
oh God, the Cousins song somehow worse. Somehow this is even worse.
What is this one?
His publicist.
Oh God!
Can you imagine if he? Well, I mean, I guess I almost said his HR department, but he doesn't have one.
No,
he hasn't had anybody to be accountable. He's what happens if you have absolutely no one to be accountable.
Totally, and infinite money.
And infinite money.
Because they can take away his Adidas deal, and like, yeah, I guess I'll stop stacking money to the moon then. Oh no, my moon tower of money is gonna take a little longer now. Like,
it is astounding how little it seems that impacted him.
Oh yeah, I don't think
he doesn't care. He's one of the few people that is almost truly untouchable. Is from the cancelable culture side of things.
Yeah. I think, like, I mean, he's almost putting it to the test. Like, it almost seems like he's just like,
how far can I take?
Yeah, he's like, oh, really? Still? All right.
Big swastika.
What if I get an iced out swastika? What if I sell Nazi merch? How about that? Still? Huh? What the fuck else can I even do? Like, it seems like he's pushing his own buttons, because it's like, I don't know the guy, but it seems like if you tell him not to do something, he's like,
yeah, he's gonna do it intentionally.
Yeah, I'm about to do it 3 times. Yeah,
we
need to just tell him to stop, like, doing the things we want him to do. You know what I mean? Like, hey, stop being reasonable. Quit. And he's like, I'll be fucking reasonable. I'm the most reasonable guy you've ever seen.
I miss his interviews. That's the one thing, because he doesn't
Oh,
do them
yeah,
ever anybody.
no.
With his interviews, it's the most locked into any interview you'll ever be. No matter
Totally.
what he's saying, you're just like, because you can smell how crazy he is.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah, it's like, which direction is the end of the sentence going? Like,
I don't think he knows.
yeah, I don't think he does either.
no,
Off the dome.
it's entirely off the cuff.
I'm at the Comedy Cellar in New York, so I'm very lucky to be able to do like 3 or 4 sets a night when I'm in town, so I can really get a good gauge on when stuff's working, or if something's happening like an Elon Trump thing, and I can really try and like get a quick take and get it out there. That's been super helpful for
Just
me,
to be able to
especially growing
go
online.
in and riff on something immediately and see what the audience thinks.
And just have doing that for a sold out show, so if it does go well, it's recordable, it looks nice, and it can kind of be content immediately, instead of having to like, because some of these jokes I built for years and years and years, stuff about my life and my family, that's the kind of stuff that is, there's no reason to put that on Instagram right now unless it's in the form of a special. So I try to instead fill with the topical stuff, right? Something that happened today, or what's this thing, and just write it out. Even if it turns into nothing, I have a week to try and turn it into something great, and just kind of keep turning stuff over, while at the same time slowly building up this other stuff. That's kind of how I approach that. So it's like hammer new stuff, write something every day, and then just keep building. Some of that stuff goes away forever. Other stuff just kind of sticks around in the act.
What's your take on the Elon Trump thing?
I'll tell you right now. This Elon, this mentally ill guy, I never should have let him in. He's a nasty guy.
Okay, that's good. That's good. You got his to me.
Yeah, I almost hit the microphone. I'll tell you that. It's Christian, fingers out. Dude, I don't know. I think man, I mean, this is just as fast as Elon flipped to go to Trump. Like, people are like, he's really praising him on the left. He's this innovator. He's trying to save the world, the environment. And then he was like, I have a MAGA hat now.
It's black, but it's still MAGA.
Now you can read it if you're very close. In the right light.
My heart goes out to you.
Yes, my heart is. I still don't know what that was. I can't tell if that guy has like Tesla batteries in his arm, because it did look very similar to like a liftoff from a Tesla. Like, if you hammer a Tesla, it was like, it's like it was the G-forces.
He could have done that anyway, but the way that he did it, and it wouldn't have come off the way that he did it. If you'd have done 2, it would have been fine.
Yes.
Nobody would have been able to know what that meant.
Right. It's a double.
Does that seem like it's my heart goes out to you?
No,
like, it's not what I interpret that.
It was a bad look.
Who was it? You sent me the meme of the Zoolander thing of what MAGA people and people on the left don't know what to do with them now. Both don't know what to do.
That's what I was going to say, is I think nobody knows what to do with them now, because like the left was like, fuck you, and now everyone on the right's like, I'm never buying a Tesla again, you goddamn.
Poor Tesla. Tesla's getting vandalized from everyone now.
There's going to be people scraping off the Elon sticker and be like, I don't know, what do I put? Just slap a magnet over it and be like, it's Pride Month, rainbow flag, we're good. Okay, I'm covered.
Tesla stock's down like 15% in the last day or something.
Tesla?
Yeah.
Wow.
Plunging.
Yeah.
Well, can you imagine how tense it would be driving around in a Tesla right now?
Oh,
It
yeah.
would be an identity crisis for sure.
I'd be looking over my bull shoulders. I wouldn't even know. Anybody who looks at you and hates you, you don't even know where they are or where you stand.
Yeah.
It's like
You can get off the line real quick though with the Tesla. So.
I'd be looking for actual park my car next to, just so no one would fuck with my car. You gotta leave your car overnight, and there's already cars with swastikas on them. Like, I'm just gonna sit right here. Maybe no one will touch it. It's crazy to me to have a reaction like that, though. To have the reaction to vandalize a random person's property that literally a year ago was like, you're a hero, you're saving the environment. And now they're a monster that has to go get their car repainted for like $3,000. Like, this is insane. What a crazy way to act.
completely unhinged for no. You also have no idea on what side of the political aisle that person leans.
They were probably left. If they were probably on your team and just didn't want to buy gas, the whole thing we were trying to do, and everyone's just flipped so fast that like.
You can tell the ones that were on the left though, because they get the sticker that says "I got this before Elon went crazy."
Yeah,
those exist. That's amazing.
Oh, dude, that's the opportunities I always think about in like the business world, where I'm like, man, I could have made $1 million on anti-Elon Tesla club stickers or magnets. Like there was a guy I read that made a $500,000 selling lotion to people saying it was anti-5G cream. So they would rub it on their skin when that whole 5G craze was happening, and people were worried about 5G fucking with their body and their brain. He's like, buy this cream. It won't. I promise you. And it wasn't wrong because it's like it's not affecting you anyway. So technically, the lotion did its job.
Guaranteed that lotion went to one primary appendage. Because everybody was concerned about fertility with 5G. Guarantee you that thing went straight on the balls.
Right on the balls.
There's no way it didn't. And he knew it would too. It's probably just lotion.
Yeah.
It's definitely just lotion. It definitely was just lotion.
I feel protected though. As soon as I with his nuts out, now I'm feeling safe.
You're telling me it doesn't work?
Yeah. There's that one guy that's doing it. You must have seen that guy. The guy that's trying to he's like some German doctor or something that's trying to live forever.
This is the guy who says he's the healthiest person alive.
He says his cells are de-aging. He's like somehow telling this age of his cells
to me,
through
he
some
looks like
process.
shit, though.
I was going to say his face doesn't look like he's
you
living
know who he
forever.
is?
Yeah,
Can you look him up?
I don't know his name though.
Would you look up
Just
German
look up-
doctor lives forever?
Yeah.
He's
I gotta see this
yeah.
guy.
I was gonna say he looks better than Anthony Weiner, and that's saying something. He looks like the creepiest gonna live forever off living children's blood
He looks like
guy
a
in the world.
vampire, 'cause
Does
he's
he?
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like pale and there's something off about him. Like he's like, it's like you can tell his skin is young, but his face underneath it is old. You know what I mean? Like there's a weird stretching. He might not be German.
No.
Type in just new
Influencer
Doctor
live
yeah,
forever.
Lives forever.
guy or just guy that wants to live forever.
Well, that's everyone.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Bottom,
Yes.
Yeah, there he is.
that
Yes.
fucking
Oh,
weirdo.
it's I've seen
Oh
this
my
guy, yeah.
gosh!
Yeah.
Yeah, biohacker trying to live forever. Here's a
Yeah,
question.
and he's just gonna get hit by a bus at 175. Gonna wait that long to get in a fucking car
Well,
crash.
it's funny. It's like the people that live forever, like the Ohio chain smoker that lives in a trailer, you know?
Yeah,
Eats through
right.
tunnels and
Yeah,
everything.
totally,
It's like-
totally. That's the guy that, yeah. Well, I think that's how it works. You know, you eat enough preservatives, and you get preserved yourself.
All right,
That ain't it. That ain't him. That's Elon.
Yeah,
Brian Johnson.
Brian, is that his name?
Yeah.
Brian Johnson.
That's not a.
He's been on a few podcasts, but they've all been a little bit less than reputable. I've seen him talking about this stuff. He does not seem.
Yeah, this weirdo.
Oh my gosh! Don't die. What a dumb. Yeah. First of all, I want to know what his
Friends with Dana. That's cool.
Well, yeah, but
Well, of course. I
Probably,
mean,
he's probably,
yeah.
Dana had a story about knowing some guy he said was actually worth $1 trillion who had dedicated the better part of his fortune to living forever.
Wow.
He said the guy lives out in Argentina or something. There's a video of it, and he says that his entire compound, he has like a Diddy compound where it's just a team of scientists, and they're all trying to make him live forever.
That's
Did you say a
just
Diddy
crazy to me.
compound?
Why do you want to live for? Like you like I get it if we can make it work that you can live your life the way you want to, but like if I gotta just eat nuts and take pills for the rest of my for 100 years, kill me, fucking kill me, dude. All I get is unsalted almonds. That's all I can eat. If not, I'll die. Fuck that, dude. If I can't have pizza at 175, I'm out. Fucking kill me.
You bring up a very true and interesting point. Is it like, what exactly are you doing with your life, living forever, even living a long time? I mean, I wouldn't want to see 200 if I had to do some of the crazy stuff that he's doing.
No, I'd like to just stay healthy until the day I die. I
Yeah.
think that's what everybody wants. Like, you just want to be, you don't want to live forever. You just want to be 23 until you drop dead.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's
Amen.
really what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Which I think that's probably the future of all this stuff. I mean, these guys that are doing this experimenting on their bodies, trying to figure it out, they're kind of the foregrounds of the science that we're going to see all of these guys kind of scoop up and try and do. I mean, this guy just literally experimenting on himself, going like, yeah, I think this will work. And just fucking like, oh, that was a bad idea. Like, that's faster than like the fucking FDA trying to figure this shit out because they don't
Amen to
want to,
that.
because the government's not going to try and make you live for forever. Why would they do that? Then you have to pay Medicare for 180 years. We can't even afford to pay for it for people that are 80.
Oh, we
you know?
Yeah.
love this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
They got a vested interest to make sure you don't live forever.
Oh, yeah,
you
for sure.
need to die.
Yeah,
you need to
yeah.
die to make
Have
new.
to die.
Like you got to make room for the new people who
Yeah.
are going to get on their programs. You can't live forever. You can't even live healthy because they don't want you doing what you just said.
Yeah.
I don't need to live forever. I just want to be healthy forever.
Right.
No.
No.
We
How
need
will
you
we sell you
sick.
things? How will we sell you things?
Yeah.
You need to,
And when you break because of what we sold you, we got to fix you.
yeah, your knee hurts, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, you look good, but your fucking knee hurts.
Hey, I I got
Here,
some
take
5G
this.
cream for that.
Yeah, 5G cream.
5G cream on your balls.
It works on everything. It
Unsalted
really does.
almonds, and you're done.
Yeah, then I sleep for another 20 hours, and then I'm alive. It's like, what?
I do sometimes though in my head I do wish that tank. Remember the Bacta tank from Star Wars? Remember the thing? He would just get in. They would just heal you immediately.
I want
don't
that.
need to live forever.
That'd be
I
nice.
just want one of those.
This guy doesn't look healthy at all. Look at this picture.
No, serious question. If you could live forever,
He looks like a
He might be a vampire.
serious question for everybody. If you could live forever, but you had to look like that,
I killed myself.
Oh, God.
would you take it?
Wow.
A
A million years with no pussy?
million.
That's gotta be. I don't know if that's worth it.
If it came out that Brian Johnson was a they them with his own, I wouldn't be surprised.
He might become the soul thing, the genderless alien of the future. I mean, that might be.
If he lives forever, he can figure out how to do it to himself.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
can go amorph.
Yeah.
He can just become a they them. Have at it, man.
He'd be like, everyone's been telling me to go fuck myself. Maybe I'll really get to the bottom of this.
Drinking
Eating
urine.
sticks of butter. I knew guys that did that.
Crystals in your vag. I'm not. What? Hold.
Drinking urine, just like.
No. Hang on. I'm not making that up. That actually says that.
Yeah.
What in the
No,
world
he's
is
just
he
saying
talking
health
about?
trends right now. We're in the health dark ages.
Oh, okay. Wait. People are telling you to do that? People are saying put crystals in your
that's
vag?
new to
I think
me.
it's
Oh,
Troy
yeah.
Casey.
Are you serious?
Well, I mean, that guy is.
I mean, that guy's on the. Have you seen that freaking guy? The health nut, the extreme health nut.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you got to see this.
Maybe
fucking-
if I see his
Yeah.
face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pull him up. We had him on.
So he's
Canceled
not.
him.
He's saying that those are things that
Yeah,
people
he's
are
saying
doing.
that.
Okay, that's not his.
Okay,
take.
all right,
That's not
okay,
he's-
We'll take it
okay.
back. We'll take that back.
He's not endorsing that. He's saying these are
Yeah.
things that people are doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is a guy.
Instead, you
he's
should snort sea moss. That's what I do. You know? You're all fucking crazy. What are you
Avoid the
talking
sun
about?
at all costs.
health nut. Yeah, that's it. That guy. This guy right here. This
I
guy's.
have
he
seen
drinks
this
his
guy.
urine.
He drinks his own fermented urine. He pisses in a jar and then he waits like a year and then he drinks it and he puts it on his skin.
I still want to see this podcast come out.
Should we tell the story?
Oh my gosh. How do you want to put the I don't.
I don't want to tell. The
I don't
story
want to.
yet.
I don't
Let's
want
save it
to.
for after.
I don't even want to see more people see this because this is the problem with health. This is what's so annoying about a part of the industry that we find ourselves in here. Is that there's a lot of characters like this.
Oh, totally.
There's a lot of people that are doing things for clickbait attention. They're creating this
Yeah.
caricature and they can't stop.
Yeah.
They've done enough ayahuasca and no one has told them to shut up and they just keep going.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is the problem is you've got this mixture of incredible people, incredible coaches, incredible health nuts, and then you got these people. And that sucks.
Yeah, totally. I think it's inevitable kind of in any business but especially something like this where social media is such a, I mean, honestly, we're at the age where this is at least a real guy.
Right.
The future, like in a year, it's going to be an AI guy that drinks his piss, and he'll get people rubbing their own shit on their forehead just because the fucking AI said to do it. In fact, I might do that tonight. I'll make
seen what it does for your
I'll load up
wrinkles,
that
though?
Google VO3 and get to work here. Yeah.
And
The best thing for my pores is actually my own feces. Like that, I could get at least 10 people to do that.
Yeah.
That's the world. It's like
Maybe
I
it's
don't
for the
know.
better, you know?
Yeah, I think so.
is it?
Well, I mean, it's like I'd rather have a fake, Brian Johnson than a real one.
Yeah,
A real one's terrifying. That guy's scary.
it is scary.
Yeah. He's fucking.
But
uses his urine to tint his glasses too. That's fucking crazy.
It's just crazy that if people see the screen say it, they just believe it.
Yeah,
And do
totally,
it.
totally.
There's not most people,
Well,
but there's some people.
But I think most people with their health are like, whatever's easy, quick, I can do it. I don't actually have to work out or sweat, right? Like I can just do that. Oh yeah, I'll drink my fucking piss and throw a crystal in my vag. Yeah, I'll have abs by summer.
Yeah. Quick fix.
Yeah, it's all.
It's a weird dynamic. Social media has a positive and a negative.
But I think it is better. I do agree that it's better that the social media side of it, because if not, you're just waiting for fucking Good Morning America to tell you what you should be
That is true.
eating,
That is very
and
true.
whatever health expert that they've vetted that has gone through the industry that the FDA also approves and all their sponsors also approve,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you get to hear from them. And now it's like he's like, actually, the best breakfast you can have is all cereal, just all cereal, no milk.
the pyramid
That's what you
says
should
so.
have.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should be mixing. I do a lot of mixing. I do
Cocoa
Fruit
Puffs.
Loops and Cocoa Puffs. A lot of people think it's not a good that's what I do. So make sure you get a healthy breakfast, America. Have toast with that too.
Yeah.
That's always the funniest thing when they're like, part of a delicious health. I'm like, nobody's having a half an orange and a fucking oatmeal with their cereal. Like, what kind of America do you think this is?
Talk about the expansion of where comedy has gone. I mean, comedians are now like responsible for the news in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah, especially with podcasting. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's almost like, I mean, it kind of comes down to like you're an influencer. You have influence on people. That does come with a level of responsibility. It doesn't come with you needing to abide by the rules that were put in place by, you know, the industry of television and stuff. But you do kind of have to be somewhat self-aware, I think, of, again, like, put forward who you are. If everything you're saying is honest and true, then I don't think it's a problem. But like in comedy, I think it's better because it's kind of the same thing. Like you were subject to 4 gatekeepers, and you got to see the comics that they decided were good enough for America to see. You wouldn't have found half of these comics that are making their careers now because they didn't get that ticket back then. Like a Theo Von was put on a reality show. He would never have been made that reality show to I'm a Comedy Central comic back then. They would have just kept putting him on reality shows.
Perfect example.
Away,
that could not be a better example of what you're talking about, Theo.
They wanted to pigeonhole you and say this is who you are, and then again, once you defied them or said something a sponsor didn't like, you're fucking gone, and you had no way of saying your side of the story or anything like that. Like social media is for sure a net benefit. It helps secure freedom of speech. It helps make it so you can hear opinions that you don't always want to hear, but maybe it opens up a new pathway in your brain of thinking about how other people think. Like, it's a net benefit for sure.
You remember what happened on Theo's with Peloton when he had a Peloton was the sponsor on the show,
and Dana,
they Peloton basically got pissed because he had RFK Jr. on. Peloton decided to basically revoke their sponsorship of his show, and so Dana took him out of all the UFC gyms live on the air.
Crazy.
That was the greatest. It was one of my favorite Dana clips ever.
But that's that uncancelable. He's got all the money in the world. He doesn't report to anybody other than his board and the people that are on the UFC.
What do they make? Bikes? Oh, get him out of the gym. That's ridiculous. That's so gay. Get him out of here. Oh, yeah, I know. That's right. I heard Peloton like shot through the floor when he did that.
I'm sure.
Oh,
well, especially the fitness industry is like a lot of it leads to the UFC in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I think you hit almost everybody. With
and fitness
like
in general, dude. Like what?
Also, why does a fucking bike brand even have to have an opinion on this? I don't care. The idea that all of these companies have to have brand values and this is what we believe. It's like you're making this little cult. Because I worked in an office for a few years when I got out of college. Like when I was first starting stand-up, man, it's like if you try to defy a thing or say something that's not on brand, like you're just ostracized. They'll kick you out. It's crazy, dude. And the idea that a fucking college or a fucking drink has to have like a take is crazy. Just drink your fucking drink. Why do I have to align my political views with the company I'm putting in my mouth? It makes no fucking sense.
And I'm sorry, Peloton, you're a stationary bike company. You're active. You're health.
Yeah.
He's RFK. He's health.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world are you doing? Like, saying you want? No, get rid of it. Pull the sponsorship.
Well, totally. Because
that's crazy.
Yeah. Because I mean, but RFK is he's a character that people are very like. Again, he's going against the grain. Like he's saying stuff against the health industry, against the food industry, saying you can't put this in your food, can't put that in your food. He's got a funny voice, he's got it's going on. I make fun of him, but I do believe in what he's doing. I think like it's kind of a two-sided coin because we have so much food that it's kind of impossible for it to not be fake at some points. Like to have everybody eat whole grains all the time is just not going to fucking happen unless we really restart our entire farming process, let alone everything else. And there's just money to be made, man. That's why they did this. They did this to make more and more money. That's what every food company does. Like this is where I got disgusted. I went to college for marketing, and this is where I was like, I knew I would never work in this business. Where they were like, I forget the name of the fucking like the term, but it's like, you get like a Pop-Tart and there's a certain amount of frosting on it, and then sometimes there's like less. And you're like, yeah, it's probably just a problem at the factory. They go, no, that's what they want you to think. They actually do it on purpose. They put less and less and less until there's a point where they get more complaints or less sales based on the product, and then they up it again and go now with more, and they're just all of that is just shaving money off year over year. So that's like something like McDonald's used to fry all their stuff in beef tallow, used to use real ground beef, and then they'll be like, yeah, let's put like 1 scoop of this shit in here and see if it's perfect. Like, did you taste the difference? I didn't taste it. Like, okay, next year go buy 2 scoops, and then by the end of it, they're just fucking pouring.
We
Cycle.
double our already doubled profits.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Brilliant. Well done.
You're the campaign with Will Ferrell. You're a fan of that movie? Remember?
Oh yeah, that's a great
Dan
movie.
Aykroyd.
Dan
Yeah,
Aykroyd
it's
and
like
his
you
brother
double
play the
or
big
you double
the conglomerates, the big
Yes,
corporate guys.
yeah.
Be like, it'll double the already doubled profit margin.
That's such a good line.
Oh, it's so true.
But that's every company. They're just all on infinite growth models. They can't stand the idea of, let alone making less money than the year before, but even just breaking even. They can't stand the idea of just making as many millions of dollars as they made last year. They all have to make more. So eventually, you're going to reach this point where if you're trying to do everything the right way, there's no more money to be made. You're selling it to every customer. Your costs are optimized. So then what do? Then you start going, I gotta throw a little fucking rubber in the bread. Throw a little rubber in the bread. We're making Subway sandwiches. No one knows. Put a little fucking floor mat in the bread. Just see what happens. You know?
That's exactly what I thought of when you were talking about that model. I was like, Subway sandwich. Subway.
Yeah,
Remember when
recycled
they
yoga
just cut
mats.
out the top of the sandwich and it was delicious. They used to
Yeah.
make the best sandwich.
Totally, because it was the same thing as McDonald's. It used to
Yeah.
be real bread they made in house with actual dough and then
Yep.
actual ingredients that were delivered within the week. You know, and now you're eating a fucking cucumber that who knows when they cut it. I don't even know
It's in
if I.
formaldehyde.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't cook and eat your own food, if you just get stuff off the shelf, you might not have ever eaten something that was made the same year you ate it.
Jeez, that's a
yeah.
daunting thought.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just sit, oh god.
Well, apparently there's a conspiracy that like we're eating humans.
Oh,
There's,
interesting.
Like, yeah, you could on X.
What?
You could go
Solvent
down,
green?
Yeah,
Is
you
this the solvent green one?
You could go down a rabbit.
I haven't
hole.
heard this.
Yeah, because like Putin like made a report that like, oh yeah, American companies are feeding humans to Americans. That's what Putin said.
Whoa.
Yeah, but that just seems like propaganda.
But that's what Putin said.
Yeah. And then Trump heard that. He was like, "Well, they're eating the dogs. Which one's worse? You tell me."
Honestly, I might be just a product of the year that I live in, but I'll believe anything.
Yeah.
Anybody tells me anything. It used to be a time where you'd hear that and you'd be like, Psh, bitch, no.
Well, I like to explore it. It's fun to
Yeah.
explore. Like, what if we
Yeah.
are? I haven't really dug into those like pot stickers I've been cooking up from Costco. You know what I mean? Like, is it chicken? Are those scallions or are those somebody's fucking fingernails? What am I eating here?
it's everything now.
Yeah.
Did we go to the moon?
And would it
Probably
change
not.
anything if you
Yeah.
found out, if they came out and were like, yeah, this like 3% of the meat you eat's human meat? Would you be like, ah? Would you be like,
Honestly, I might be like, oh,
yeah?
I don't know.
I don't know.
3%?
3%.
3%? 3%
Every
would be
burger.
rough.
3% of
What
any
percent is
hamburger
acceptable?
you've ever ate.
It's got to be
is a
less than
person.
one.
One-
Less than one.
is
Less than
acceptable
1%.
human?
I could swallow.
But what if that? But what if that was? What if you found out that it was the best fucking burger you ever had? You know what I mean? Like you finish it, you're like, that was so fucking good. How
Can
did
I
they
say?
get the
Can I
meat
say
so
something?
tender?
Just that I would want to know who they were. I would want to know what kind of people
All
are
right,
we
we're gonna
talking
open.
about?
We're gonna open a new restaurant. You're gonna get served your burger and then also an ID. Just slide fucking Joe Richards ID. Like, he's good, huh?
Oh, interesting. He was in Oregon Dome.
No, he-
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Would you like the A5 Wagyu? It's just fucking Ralphie May or something. Really good marbling on this one. Big fan of Ralphie May, by the way.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. the goat.
What cut would you take of Ralphie May?
Calf.
The calf?
Yeah, I'd go with the calf.
I'd have to.
Yeah.
It'd be the most muscular part of his body.
Yeah.
By far the most nutrient dense. Been sustaining all that for that long.
Yeah,
It's
those
like a
calves are jacked. dude.
gigantic.
Yeah, those are fucking elephant calves.
So the best thing in the world is like a giant dude who loses all that weight.
Oh,
His
yeah.
legs are just huge
Dude,
forever.
just go to the NFL. Like,
Yeah.
just go be a kicker. You know, like you could be able to kick that ball 1,000 miles. Just
Every
skinny,
time it's
saggy skin, huge calves.
huge calves, huge legs. Like John Goodman, Jelly Roll. Like the list goes on and on and on. There's guys that just
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that and their legs are huge.
Crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Oh God, what cut of Ralphie May? Poor fucking guy. He's not even here to defend
No,
himself.
I know. I think you thought that. I think you think that.
Awesome, Drew, but
this is
shit, that was
great.
great.
Yeah.
I feel like we could go for another two,
yeah.
3 hours
Yeah,
just
I
talking. We got to do this again.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure,
I'll be
man.
back around, man. We'll do it again sometime.
Awesome.
For sure. That'd
All
be
right,
awesome.
Thanks
good
for
job,
coming in.
guys.
Hell yeah,
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it, man.
Appreciate you coming in. What's up, y'all? Becoming the 1% podcast. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Drew Dunn in the building. Man, that shit was hilarious. If you guys want to see more like that, more episodes kind of along that line, you're going to want to click right here.